Hi, everybody. My name's Kathy Moffett McDonald. I've lived on the island for a very long time. Families lived here for a long time. And I graduated from the high school in 1989, and now I'm raising my family here, like a lot of you. I have two kids in the school system. One's a senior and one is a sophomore in high school. And I'm very proud to be the chair of this year's CMIPS committee. That stands for the Committee for Mercer Island Public Schools. We are a very diverse group of Mercer Island volunteers. We're politically diverse. We're diverse in every way. Actually, we come together every few years to support the levy campaigns that the school district puts forth to support the budget for the school district. So in 2022, there will be a special election. This will be the only thing on the budget, or sorry, on the ballot. And the ballots will be mailed to you around January 19th, and they are due back February 8th. This is a short presentation to tell you a little bit about what will be on the ballot and why you should vote yes. First of all, I want to tell you a little bit about how school funding works. Federal funding, as you might know, is very minimal for our education system in the United States. Mercer Island receives very small amount of federal funding. Most of our funding comes from the state, and that's under a term called basic education. There was a McCleary decision a few years ago that you might be familiar with, but unfortunately, it's just not enough for any district to fully fund their education system. So 99% of districts in Washington have levies, just like the one I'm going to talk to you about, to support their school system. They also sometimes have bonds. Bonds are really for buildings. That's what we had a few years ago when we built Northwood. The last levy was in 2018, and it was a 4-year levy. And so here we are in 2022 renewing that levy. That levy passed with over 70% of the vote. And so we've had great support on Mercer Island for our schools and our students over the years. What will be on the ballot in 2022? There will be 2 items on the ballot for you to consider. The first is called the Educational Programs and Operations Levy Renewal. And the second is our Capital Projects and Technology Levy Renewal. Neither of these is a new tax. This is just a continuation of the current taxes you're paying. Neither of these is a levy lift. Neither of these is being done because the district is trying to fix a hole in their budget or anything like that. Or because of enrollment dips. These are just the regular way in which we are funding our schools. So again, these are levy renewals. If you've learned one thing from this presentation, learn that these are levy renewals. They need 50% of the vote to pass. And again, the election is February 8th. How much are these levies? This is the financial part of the presentation. The first one, the Educational Programs and Operations, is 11.4 million per year. On your ballot, it will say up to 12 million. And that is calculated on a per enrollment, per student. It's a formula set by the state. And it's a maximum formula. So every October, it's like the first Monday in October, they count all the students in the state. And then they say that for this particular levy, you can ask for 2742 per student is the number right now. It used to be 2,500, but with inflation, it's 2742. And that goes for 4 years. So it starts in 2023. So that's how they come up with this, up to 12 million number. Formerly, this levy was called enrichment back in 2018. And prior to that was called maintenance and operations, but it's the one you're familiar with it. We've had for a very long time on Mercer Island. The capital projects and tech levy, that happens every 6 years. And that could be a gazillion dollars if the district wanted it to, but they usually keep it around the same. So this term, it should be between 7.7 and 8.8 million per year for a 6-year term starting in 2023. By the end of the 6 years, the capital projects and tech levy, your property taxes will go up about $75 per $1 million assessed value of your home. And I want to tell you something else that's kind of interesting. You can go on the King County Assessor's website, type in your address and see where all of your taxes go. Approximately 60% of your taxes go to support schools in some way, both to the state and to the local. And you can also see how much of your taxes go to the library and EMS services and all sorts of things. So that's a good thing to do, to know where your taxes are going. I'm going to dive a little deeper into both of our levies here today, our levy renewals. First is the Educational Programs and Operations. And this is a big number, guys. Remember this, 17% of the total budget of the district is from this levy. So that's a big number. If this went away, it would be terrifying, devastating for the district and for the students if this levy were to fail. It is also 40% of the special education budget. That's a huge number too. It funds nurses at all the schools. Without this, we have a nurse at every single school, which has been huge during COVID. We would have only, without this levy, the state would fund only one nurse for the entire district. It funds the 7-period day at Mercer High School, which is important for students to get all the credits they need for applying for college, advanced science and math, our band program, radio, Destination Imagination, clubs, provides additional staffing support for one-to-one, for smaller class sizes, and provides professional development, all sorts of really crucial things, critical programs for our students. The capital projects levy provides maintenance and safety and all sorts of things for our school buildings. That's the boring but necessary stuff. That's the main thing it provides. Improvements on the roofs and the boilers and the painting. But there's a lot in it for the community as well. Mary Waite Pool, which is heavily used and really is the same as when I was on the swim team in the 80s, is finally going to get a much needed refresh of the locker rooms, the pool deck, and the viewing area. And the district plans to apply for a King County Parks grant, which is a 1-to-1 grant, meaning if we spend $1, we get $1, or we spend $2 million, we get $2 million. So that would be really exciting and help us out quite a lot. The high school tennis courts will get resurfaced with lights and add some more playing time for all of our many tennis players on Mercer Island. And our fields, some new turf for some of our fields, lights on the fields. And this is really crucial. The bus lot will prepare for electric buses. The electric buses are the wave of the future, but they cost about 2.5 times of a regular gas bus, but they will really keep our environment much cleaner for all of our islanders. And then playground and classroom upgrades, of course, as well. The technology side of the capital projects levy provides tech staff and coaches at the schools, super crucial during COVID times, classroom instructional tools, and all of our students on Mercer Island have 1-to-1 iPads, essential again for COVID, and they're looking at transitioning to 1-to-1 laptops at the high school. Textbooks, a mark of high quality schools is to have digital textbooks because they're so great for students and they provide an additional, additional lens for our students and our teachers. So digital textbooks, however, their licensing is, it's shorter. It's like 3 years, but they cost the same as a regular textbook, as a hard copy textbook. And so that's quite a bit more, all the software licenses that we're paying for. And then security, huge. We have secure entrances at all of our schools. And some other internet and phone upgrades as well. So technology is really an important part of how schools are run today. So now I'm going to tell you a little bit about why you should support these levy renewals. Number one, you really, at the end of the day, the levies, they are the budget, and this is the way that our schools are funded, and they support our students. And whether you have a current student in the school system, whether you had a student in the school system, or whether you will have a student in the school system, this is how we fund our schools. And providing strong educational options for students like the 7th-period day and all of the advanced classes make all of our students more prepared for college and adult life, and keeping all of our students safe and our staff safe. They keep our buildings safe, these levies. Public education, as I like to say, is a right of all students on Mercer Island, whether you live in an apartment or a gazillion-dollar house on the water. Every student deserves public education. And secondly, if you support these levies, you're supporting our community. All Mercer Island residents will benefit. Mary Waite Pool is going to get the revamp, as I mentioned, the tennis courts, the fields, and just a cleaner environment. This is an investment in our community, clean energy schools, and the move to electric buses. And finally, and very importantly, a lot of us have moved here for the schools and the community, and a strong public education keeps our property values strong and makes Mercer Island a wonderful place to live. So that's it. That's my short presentation. If you'd like to join our campaign or find out more, please visit our website at yesmischools.org. You can also scan with your phone right now that QR code and fill out our little form to endorse the levies or request a yard sign or participate in the process. Thank you so much for listening. And I hope that you've gotten some questions answered and gotten some good information. And I look forward to seeing you around the island and look forward to answering any other questions that you might have. You may feel free to also email me directly at yesmischools@gmail.com. And thank you so much.